Hello, this is Wolf Outdoor Review here. Today we are going to be going over the BIANCHI M12 military holster. This is obviously by BIANCHI. These were used for the Beretta M9 series, and they were issued to soldiers. Other than that, that's all the history I know about them. But yeah, so let's start. See, here's the NSN, the M12 BIANCHI International. Load. Alright, so yeah. NSN BIANCHI International. And then this says, oh, it doesn't say English. It says US, as in US Army and stuff. And that's all the markings there are on this. So, it is this. Yeah. So, overall, yes, this is a really good holster. It is a nylon material, and it's got this inlaid silicone rubber material and metal and some polymer plastic. So it's very simple holster design and very effective. On the back here you have two different size belt loops. You have a military web belt and you have a rigger belt, so that can fit up to a, this is your standard military belt. And with it inside here, there's actually that's about as big as you can go. It's military belt size. And I did have a tape measure at one point anyway. So, let's see here. Yeah, if you're looking for a belt, there's your measurements. About. See if there's more equal. It's about 4.5 centimeters. So that's about the max you can do with these belts here. And then for this belt part here, the maximum you can do is approximately 2.5 inches, or just be safe at yeah, I bet 6 centimeters, or a little bit less than that. So that is the compatibility. This is kind of designed for a lot of different weapons systems. So you can run a Beretta, a Glock, whatever you have, I would assume, as long as it's more of the fuller frame. They also make these for revolvers, and they have a lighted version. So if you have a weapon you have a light with, they have a weird ones that you can look up. They're BIANCHI light weapons, light with light holster. I forget their nomenclature, but they exist. I was looking into one. But yeah, so this comes on here, and that, so yes, so in order to put it on your belt, if you're doing web belt, you'd take it open like I showed you, and you push down and attach. To attach, essentially what it does is it's fighting gravity, and I guess outward tension. So what you're doing here is you're pushing it. It wants to go that way still. So you push hard and push in, and it's these two little parts here. So once it goes in, it pushes up against the parts here, like so. And then open it. Yeah, and then you can take this flap off, and they make thumb brake systems for these, because these flaps aren't necessarily the best thing in the world. Or you could just leave it off and use just kind of a, I don't know what you would call it, a competition shooting holster, where you just need something to hold in there, then quick draw and timed or whatever. But yeah, so this thing also allows, same thing with the other side here, you can fit your belt part in, because this is an ambidextrous holster. So for that, you can use it really anywhere as such. And yeah, so I have this airsoft Glock model. This is a exact replica of a 17 Gen 4 Glock. And as you saw, it was airsoft. This isn't real at all. So, even so, nothing in the chamber. And we're good to go. So, of course, there's no real safeties on these, even though they claim there is. But, yeah, so if this is being a exact Glock model, it holds this pretty well. You can see. Not much movement at all. And then to break it out, you just pull down, pull up, and it will fly. And then you can withdraw your weapon and bang bang. So that is the BIANCHI M12 holster. And these are also produced by, I believe, Kathy, and some other people got the contract for this specific design, even though BIANCHI seems to make most of them. I believe there's an M9 version, there's an M12 M9, there's a revolver one of these, there's a lighted version like I was mentioning. I believe these are still produced to this day under a different contract, if not without the US stuff and all that. They're just called something else. I know they made these in DCU, Woodlands, black, and the green. I don't know of any others, but yeah, I would go with this. You're spending upwards of like $70 for a DC or Woodland one. And I think I did see one at Woodland and I was going to buy, but at the same time it was produced in Mexico, so this one was produced in the United States. So there's that. Now, we're going to go over one more thing, which is the cleaning rod attached to it, and then we will go over some shortfalls and pros and cons, I guess. So, up here, you have this mystery item. If anyone knows what this is, please leave a comment. I have no clue what this is for. Looks like a cleaning rod, but there's nothing at all. It just has a cheap hole that's jagged, so there's no real brush thing you could put in it to clean. It's too bendy to push out shells that got stuck. So without that, I have no clue what this is for. I don't know, maybe I don't know, since it bends a lot, you could like use it as a some sort of like safety marker, like thread it down a barrel of a 9mm, and then say the barrel's clear, or go the other way and shove it in far enough so that it keeps it open. I have no clue. I have no clue what this is for, but I think all of them come with this. There's aluminum and plastic versions. On the top here, these say BIANCHI, as you can see there, and BIANCHI. And that's kind of the weird shape you're looking at. So yeah, no clue at all, but while I figured out the zooming in, there's the U.S. and as you can see, it's made of like this. I don't know. It feels like foam. It's a mix between the foam mats, or what is it? That foam. I don't know. I guess just foam, or I don't know. I guess, but it's like a leathery, rubbery silicone stuff. Pretty durable. And as you can see, these are mostly stitched down the entire thing, so there's no real loose or fraying things. If you saw my last video I did, I explained how you can hit things with a lighter, and it'll let your pouches last 3 times as long because there's nowhere for them to fray unless you cut them on a branch or something. So, just another update. I'm going to try to remember to say that on all the videos containing anything related to pouches from now on in the video somewhere, just so you know. If you want more information on that, check out the video How to Police Your Gear Effectively. It is the last video I did. So now, after the shameless promotion, we have here we have a really good NSN 1035-01-9194-3343 by BIANCHI International. I believe they do make cheap knockoffs of these, or some Rothko garbage. Of course, I guess it's not garbage if you think it's useful. Some people can't afford the military gear, but at the same time, it is cheap enough. So, but yeah, I guess not everyone has access to eBay or doesn't have credit cards or means of wealth. And in that case, it's just good to go with what you can afford. This is a reasonably good holster system if you're looking for very simple carry around. Make sure you check applicable laws in your area for open carry, since this is more of an open carry holster. I wouldn't go around buying this if you don't intend to use it. There's no need to have it. Like, maybe if you're lucky and you do airsoft. I'll do a review of this gun, by the way, later. But yeah, if you have a unless you do airsoft, which they have a few models like 1911's Glocks, Sig Sauer, Smith & Wessons, maybe some Walter PPQs or whatever, Berettas clones, Berettas themselves, and other larger frame pistols for airsoft should fit in here. So I mean, airsoft, this is probably the best holster you could find for airsoft, if I'd say. Down here, this is so you can put this in a shoulder holster, or I believe that, or you can use a piece of paracord and tie one loop to that side, one loop to there, and make a very crude ankle holster part, where once you wrap it around, you thread it through, pull, and then do something like a barrel lock or whatever. That way you can take it off on. Like, at that point, you could end up weaving a paracord part on here, or use some sort of clip, like your standard clip there is. I don't know if I have an example that I'm trying to explain. Let me see. I'll pause the video and try to find one. Alright, I'm back. This is the clip I meant to say. Like, you could use one of these. These are just standard swivel clips. This ripped off a cheap bag I got for free. I forget where, but yeah. So all you have to do is do that, and then use straps. They sell, Army sells 1/4 inch, 1 inch straps. For example, here's a radio pack, which I'll be doing a review on shortly. It doesn't fit too well, but there's just certain things you can put in here, like paracord or whatever, and then you tie a standard knot on this side, and then you wrap it around and tie one off here. It takes a while to come off, but you can definitely make it work so that you have a leg, one that cinches your leg, because when you draw, you may ride up, and you want to keep this to your hip. So That way when you go to draw, you're not, like, if it's on your hip, you go to draw, you're likely to, depending on your natural drawing, you might be likely to pull, because a lot of people aren't good at pulling straight up. They pull at an angle, and that isn't very good. So as long as you have that secured against your leg, it's more of an outward. So there's that. So yeah, this is the BIANCHI M12 holster. And then we went over the cleaning rod thing. The cleaning rod has a nice drainage hole. Of course, now since that reminded me, we'll get into the pros and cons. Alright, the pros of this. This is a very cheap holster. I paid $20 for this one at I forget what it was, a consignment shop, I think, or some sort of like pawn shop or whatever. And some of these are pretty weird. As you can see, this manages to retain a lot of metal, graphite looking rubbed off metal, and this can be a make or break right here. Gonna zoom in over here. As you can see here, this is a very plain looking swoop-de-doo, and this, it doubles as the hook part and the clip part. So by pulling this, you have this, it's a mixture of nylon, and in the middle is some of that military bands that go around the assault packs, the normal scrunchy material, like so. And yeah, that. And then you have this metal part. And that's essentially what makes this open and close. And as you saw, I took this off, so you can take the lid off and replace it with either a thumb brake or leave it at like this, so you can just quickly take it in and out. Of course, with this, it keeps all your rain and stuff off of it, so that's another plus. It's cheap, it's durable. Those are two pluses. It keeps your weapon very clean and secure. That's another plus. It's cheap. I already mentioned that, actually. It's kind of secure. I don't think anyone can come up and grab your weapon off you very easily unless they manage to do that. So, although at the same time, if you're being held at gunpoint or something, it's unlikely for you to be able to grab your weapon quickly. This isn't a very fun one-hand operation. Of course, you could modify it. Some people, I guess, use like a monkey's ball or something here, so they have a knob to grab and yank. You could probably modify this to fit something else, like a piece of paracord as well. And just use some OD green paracord or something, and then have something so that you just naturally grab, and it's some keychain thing that's, I don't know. I think if you were likely to do anything, you'd do a pace count beads lanyard thing. That way your hand's already kind of swaying on your weapon when you're in the field, so why not buy one of those paracord pace count things? If you're pacing, you know, chances are you have to put something on here if you want to use it, so might as well put something on here that kills two birds with one stone. You have something that you can grab, and so since it's doing there, you don't have to go and then do that. You just go and it opens. So there's different ways to open these. Some people open them, have to feel context, they have to pull down, make sure it's clear, let go. For me, what I found best is quickly slide down, rip, and let go. And most of the time it flies out of this thing. And then on your traveling hand up, you travel, draw, and then do what you have to do, and then do that, and kind of grab it while it's up here, and punch as if you were punching someone, and push like that. And then I use my thumb to push on this part here, and then pull. and then it's secure. So it does take some work getting used to this, but yeah. Alright, cons. It is called the Widow's Maker by some source, I forget which one that is, but because of how slowly in the field you can access this, like I said, of course, you might be able to replace this with take this part off, make a huge wide lasso piece of paracord, and then put some heat shrink tubing or some, I don't know. Here's like a piece of bicycle tubing. It's like one of the road bikes. You can cut these up and make ranger bands. We'll go over that in another video, but you know, you'd take a piece of paracord, thread it through there, and it would essentially go like where my finger is. It would go in a huge circle. You would take this circle and you would clamp it to it till it's like a rod looking circle, and then you would take this, heat shrink it, and since it's heat shrink, if you shrink it good enough, it'll make it very tight here, so you can kind of angle this wherever you want, and then it's a quick rip down and it'll fly open. So I can go over this in a later video. I just don't have the proper rope on me at the moment, but yeah. Yeah, I guess there's a lot more videos out there on this holster if you want more of a realistic approach with firearm drills and all sorts of stuff. My point I'm mentioning this is just to give you measurements on it, and yeah. So if you are looking for usable space, it looks like you have 9.5, actually 10 centimeters worth of usable space from the block down to the bottom. So what that means is you have to measure from here to your barrel part. For us, we're looking at, because that's where it hits up here. So you're measuring essentially from right here at its widest to here. In order to do that, I recommend is getting something flat. I don't have anything at the moment, surprisingly. Here are magnets, whatever. So, go like that. Okay. Take your ruler, if you want to measure that, and put it flat there. It looks like here we have about 7.5 centimeters worth of space to work with, and you have up to 10. So, yeah. And then when it comes to closing, you put that in there, and this tells you that how much you have when it comes to closing. So I'm just going to pull you and hold you in position there, and it looks like you have 5.5 inches worth of space to work with. I wish I could get that on camera, but I'll just tell you. And then it looks like about 14 centimeters. So that's how much you can have from here to the top part. In our example, it is, of course, with this, I like to go down to there. And looks like we have about, at its tallest point, 5 inches, or 12.5 centimeters. So, make sure you do some research, because some firearms are too big. Obviously, if you're trying to get a Desert Eagle in that, there's a problem. Certain Glocks may fit it, certain ones may not. I'm not sure. I don't follow real Glocks very often, but I know they have Glock 43, Glock 17, Glock 20, whatever. So some might be bigger than others. So just make sure you measure it. You don't want one that's too small. This isn't a compact holster, although you could technically put maybe a Walther PPK or something in there, but you would have a lot of room to move. So at that point, you might as well just get a pocket holster cover thing. There's different ways to conceal compact pistols, but yeah. All right, back to cons. Cons, you have to probably upgrade this flap. They make, like I said, thumb brake ones where you snap it, and it's essentially a rivet button. Oh, I don't have an example, but, oh yeah, I do. Essentially, it's like this in this exact format. You just do that, and except this is a little longer and it's made of plastic, and this is the other part of the thumb brake, and then this strap goes over the back part of your firearm like so. We'll pretend it's like that, and then there. So when you go to draw from your holster, essentially what it does is you snap, and then you would draw. So yeah, that is how the thumb brakes work. The other annoying part is if you're in a monsoon, there's no real, I don't know what you would call it, drainage hole other than this cleaning rod, which either whatever you want to call it, cleaning rod. A lot of holsters have a drainage for water, because if you're in a guard post or whatever, these are a lot used in parades and whatever for the military and other fields, so chances are it's not going to be a pretty princess dollhouse where it gets out of the rain completely, so you don't want to puddle down here. I don't know if this is supposed to seep out somehow or if there's a hidden hole, but based on what I can see, there's no light at all showing, versus a lot of them have drainage holes. And in mine, when I bought it, it came with a nice surprise, which it'll never pick up, but there's a bunch of dirt, rocks and stuff in there, and there's nothing you can put in there other than maybe like I don't know, but you can't really clean the bottom part, so there's grime will get attracted there, which shouldn't be an issue, but if it gets water in there, I don't know what you're supposed to do, but so be alert on that. And yeah, so if you have any comments, questions, concerns, let me know. If you want to send me an email, my email is wolfoutdoorreview@gmail.com. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you want to, save it to a playlist. If any of you have experience with this holster, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear about it. If you know what this is, I would love to know. I have even looked on their official website, and they kind of very vague about what this thing does. So yeah, this is the BIANCHI M12 holster review. I'll do one more quick around part so you can take a look at it, and then there we go, perfect. Zoom in. You can pause the video if you'd like to read that. And here's again how the belt loop moves. They also make a bunch of attachments like mag pouches for these, drop legs, whatever. So, as you can see, not the funnest one-handed. And then you open, and then you can take that off if you want to. And like I said, it's ambidextrous, so that piece, if you were to do that, you push this down and pull like so, and here's the part that says BIANCHI International Universal Military Holsters, U.S. Foreign Patent Pending. And yeah, so that was the side we were on. Flip to the other side. Kind of have to get a little bit of a concave going. Push through. Now it's a left holster, and I think this is pretty much equal on both sides, although it kind of seems to be leaning more towards a right hand with the hood facings. But yeah, now it's a right facing holster, so it's ambidextrous. Yeah. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, like I was saying, and yeah, let me know if you want me to do an updated review on any of the other videos I've done in the past. In that case, just send me an email, and I'll try to get to them. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.